There have been violent protests in Bangladesh after the death of one of the leaders of last year's student uprising. Protesters stormed the offices of two national newspapers and set fire to one of the buildings. Sharif Hadi was shot last week in the capital, Dhaka. He died of his injuries on Thursday in hospital in Singapore. Hadi was a key figure in a student protest movement that led to the ousting of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Bangladesh's interim leader has announced a day of mourning on Saturday and is calling for calm. Tanvir Chowdhury joins us live from Dhaka, and despite those calls for calm, more protests, I should say, planned for today. Take us through them, Tanvir.
Yes, the body of Hadi Usman is going to arrive today around 6 p.m. local time, which would be about approximately 12 GMT. And the student leaders have called for a major protest after the Jummah prayer, which is the Friday Muslim Sabbath prayer in Shahbag Square, a central point right next to the Dhaka University where they're going to gather. The protest has been going on all night across the country, not just the capital city. And this is something the government is worried that this protest will continue. As the student leaders said, that until and unless the killers of Hadi is found, the protest will continue. And we know that the killer has, at least to the speculation made by police and others, that he may have escaped to India through the border. One of the person who was driving the motorcycle the assailant was riding was actually caught, and several other also people on suspicious or tied to this event have been caught, at least 20 or so. But the actual killer who shot Hadi has never been found yet or arrested. So there is a lot of tension in the city. We are right in front of the Daily Star, the leading English newspaper. It's a 14-story, multi-story building that was burned yesterday by the student protester. Many of the staff and the journalists went up on the roof and eventually rescued by the fire brigade through the ladder. The entire place with tens of thousands of students. Fire trucks had real difficulty coming, which is why this building was destroyed and was vandalized by the students. Luckily, nobody was seriously hurt. There was a lot of smoke inhalation, but nobody got burned or seriously hurt. At least 30 people, journalists, some of them I personally know, were rescued from the rooftop. As well as another paper, Pratham Alo, a leading Bangla newspaper in the country, was also vandalized and burned. Nobody got hurt on that incident.
All right, Tanvir, but talk to us about how anti-India sentiment is driving some of the action and some of these attacks, like on the building behind you, right?
Yes, what the student protesters and many others are saying that India is behind in a lot of the unrest. There's been protests in front of the Indian High Commission day before, and they're saying that you shouldn't harbor all the elements or members of the previous government, as well as Sheikh Hasina, who's been convicted recently in a trial. So they're saying those people should be extradited to Bangladesh and face the sentences here. They're also saying that India is using its intelligence agencies to create unrest here before the election, and this is why the assailant who killed Hadi was able to manage and escape to India. Now, these two newspapers particularly were targeted because they said they're sympathetic to India and they're pro-Indian news media outlet, which actually propels something more towards India than national interest. At least that's what they claim, the students. This whole current of the underlying sentiment is pretty much against India. The students from last year, while they were protesting, they said that India has been pretty much influencing Sheikh Hasina's government then and was instrumental in putting her in power and keeping her there. So the underlying sentiment pretty much is anti-Indian, at least within the student communities who are protesting. And unless the leader is, the person who killed Hadi is arrested, they said the protests will continue. The country remains tense, yet reasonably peaceful today until the protest starts again.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much. Tanvir Chowdhury from Dhaka.
Don't miss out and get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.